Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast. I am back from the dead and we've got a good week of football to talk about. How are you boys on this fine Monday morning?
All right, Ty. More to the point, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just about there. Almost getting there.
Yeah, we are back to a foursome. Yeah. God, that didn't sound good.
No.
We've held the fort in Baby Hope's absence, but he's back now.
Oh, it's been good. It's good
I
having
really
some
hope
free
Baby Hope doesn't stick.
Oh, I'm trying.
You can blame Nikki for that one, mate. You can blame Nikki for that one. How are you feeling, gentlemen? How is life been? Have we got over yesterday's football yet?
No, I needed to lie down after that Buffalo game.
Wow, what a game.
Oh my god, yeah.
We will get to that in a bit. I think we'll have to get to that in a bit, I think. Morning, Dave. And yes, we have a full team back up and running. And I need to get rid of that bit. And yeah. Mental Sunday. But shall we get on to Thursday? Because I don't think anyone went for a Panthers victory, did they?
Nope.
No.
Well,
Did anyone care?
that one down there.
Like...
True.
PJ Walker pulled out the bag and actually played very well.
He did. I mean, he's 10 and 16 for 108 yards. That was it. Dante Foreman was 31 yards for 130 yards. Christian McCaffrey, who? He had more yards than you guys did. Than he did for you guys.
Yeah, but I think we were playing a slightly better defense than they were.
Maybe,
Yeah, but didn't we win?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Don't start them now. They're back together again. I don't know.
Together we're stronger, Ollie. Together we're stronger. We literally take up half the
There's a great button
screen.
called mute.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly endorse this button.
I think I've proved a couple of times that I have removed from stream button too, Ollie.
Yes. Oh, shall we get on to the actual football?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I want to skip the game and going, what the hell is wrong with Baker Mayfield?
He's back this week, isn't he?
Yeah, but he decided to headbutt his teammates
Oh yeah,
while
without the helmet.
they're in their helmets, and he wasn't.
Also, I read something that Sam Darnold might start this week.
I've seen Baker week 11 guaranteed to be Baker because Donald's only just been back into practice at the moment.
Yeah, who are the Panthers playing this weekend?
Panthers have.
Well, don't spoil it, otherwise you're giving away content for Thursday's episode.
I'm surprised a certain someone in the bottom right-hand screen doesn't know who they're playing.
Anyone? Well, why do you think I asked? Of course I know.
So that means Panthers are going to win that one by 50 points quite easily because I'll stop
Oh,
their running
come
back.
on now.
Just while we're talking about fixtures for next weekend, I'm not sure if any of you have seen George Kittle's post.
Not yet.
No, what's he said?
I put it in the chat, and he said, go on Mexico, next week in Mexico, and then put an Italian flag.
Oh my god, George. Oh my god, Kel, what you like? Oh.
He's changed it now, but I've seen a screenshot. I'll send it in the chat now.
He's such a tit.
Can I
Someone didn't go to
ask,
school.
were the Panthers that good or were the Falcons that bad?
I want to say a bit of both. I did watch the highlights because this game didn't really appeal to me, to be quite honest. But yeah, I thought PJ Walker played really well, and considering I think the Falcons are the very epitome of hot and cold. You know, one week you've got Cordell Patterson balling right out, and Mariota playing like a prime Steve Young, leave it there. And the other weeks they played like they did against the Panthers. There was just nothing there.
Yeah, Patterson was totally ineffective. Mariota had no running ability. The only player that I think has looked good for a few weeks now in a row that I don't think is getting much love is Algier.
Yeah,
the running back.
Yeah.
But he only had 20 yards carry. Let's put it this way. Atlanta's rushing was only 8 yards more. Total team rushing was 8 yards more than Devontae Foreman.
Really?
Yeah, 138 yards to Devontae Foreman's 130. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Atlanta are in a rebuild. I mean, they're going to be picking, I think I saw about 12 or 13 at the moment.
I still think Arthur Smith's done an incredible job so far.
He's doing brilliantly. I mean, they've got a couple of good. I mean, Drake's a great wide receiver. But yeah, I mean, Cordell Patterson. I mean, he had 5 carries for 18 yards. He's been their star player this season and last season.
I'm not sure if now the Panthers have traded Bobby Anderson and Christian McCaffrey. I think they may be rival Atlanta for this, but definitely at the start of the season, I think Atlanta have the weakest roster.
We've said that for a while, haven't we?
Yeah, you've always called that one. I mean, they've got
because they have Pitts, they have London. Patson surprised me, but apart from that, they don't have much else. Like their defense is very weak.
Yeah, I mean, look at their main defense, and for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson got a tackle.
They've even traded Calvin Ridley now.
Yeah, there is no. I mean, D. Orford's a good player. He's good in there on the defense.
Actually, AJ Terrell is their only good defensive player. And
I'm gonna disagree with D. Orford. I think D. Orford's a good defensive player, but yeah.
AJ Terrell's also not had a great season, past couple of weeks.
Yeah. All right. Shall we go to Germany? Because Tom Brady's now won in every continent he's played in.
Wow, they're good, yeah?
You mean country?
Country, yeah.
He'd already won in Europe.
Yeah, so he's won in, obviously, America, Mexico, and England with Patriots. England. Next Monday is England. And now he's won in Germany with the Bucks. It looked like it was going to be a blowout to start with, wasn't it? The first first half.
Tampa Bay didn't move the ball at all in the first half, and then
no one moved the ball in the first half.
Well, I mean,
in the first quarter, sorry, both of them were really poor in the first quarter.
Seahawks picked up a bit in the second quarter, and then Tom Brady turned into Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What, not being able to catch?
Oh my god! When I watched that, I actually couldn't believe it. Even my wife just stopped what she was doing. I was going, "What on earth is he doing?" That's in a highlight reel for when he goes into the Hall of Fame. When he gets his big reveal at Canton, it's that.
Or the one in against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he called
when they tried to do their version. No, he didn't. It went through his fingers.
Yeah, but at least he stayed upright and didn't get a tripping penalty.
Yeah, I mean, what surprised me though, there was a lot of players slipping. They were putting their foot down. The turf looked. Good job Bayern having on a Champions League game this week because they haven't got a game for the next 6 weeks because that pitch looked absolutely obliterated.
You don't think that's why they put it then, though?
Probably, yeah, more than likely.
I mean, is the Allianz indoor pitch anyway?
No, it's
not. The Allianz
Stadium.
The Allianz is
outdoors.
Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bowl. It's a really, really nice stadium. Unfortunately, I've never been there.
I've driven past it.
Lucky you.
I feel like I've
driven past it.
I feel like I have a bit of a missed opportunity when Bolton went there and drew 2-2.
It says something though, that Tampa defense stopped Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
His rushing yards was 17. That's the lowest he's had in about this season.
He got a couple of receptions though.
Yeah, I mean he had eight targets, 6 receptions, 55 yards. But he is their main threat now. He is their what they used to be with Marshawn Lynch. He doesn't care. He's running straight through you. And it's not good. And that Scotty Miller catch as well, which he almost fumbled.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
The one way
he started jumping in
the
air.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah. I almost thought it was like, I'm going to get hit, I'm going to jump to protect myself.
From a neutral fan standpoint, that is very much Hollywood. very much a case of, watch me, watch what I can do. But from a coaching standpoint, you would want to drag him off the field.
Oh, that was shocking. I mean, why do it? I mean, the ball wasn't it wasn't in the numbers. It was above his head, but it was very, very, very catchable. Saying that, there's been a lot of drops this week. Have been in catchable hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was something about. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, the German fans have been brilliant. They've loved it. Blah 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 blah." And they were electric. The stadium was brilliant, etc., etc. But they started the Mexican wave in the first quarter. I don't remember seeing one at this year's London games.
There were no Mexican waves at this year's London games.
I mean, if I'm being really, really honest, on the telly, the atmosphere didn't really seem to pick up until they started singing "Country Roads" by John Denver. And then Tom Brady in his post was then saying about, oh yeah, the atmosphere was amazing, especially when singing "Country Roads." And I went, but that's only like in the end. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love West Virginia, I love Country Roads, but yeah, I just watching on the telly and then watching the UK games on the telly. Yes, because even in some of the shots, it looked like the stadium was a little bit patchy with attendance.
I saw that as well.
Yeah, I saw that in a few pictures as well.
What a lot of people liked is apparently all the German fans stayed after and were still singing.
Which is absolutely fine. But I'm sure. I mean, I haven't been to the Allianz Arena, but I'm sure the transport around there is slightly more public friendly than it is around the transport around Wembley Stadium.
Oh god, it's big. It's a bigger area as well.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
Wembley Stadium is better than Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Careful, there is a Spurs fan. Well, I think she's watching.
That's right. No one's perfect. No one's perfect.
Look, the stadium is incredible. I love the stadium. I'm just saying that the transport around it is shocking.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of? The Germany game. It reminded me very of the early UK games.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
When it was like Pats and the Rams.
No, the first 4 or 5 games where we've got NFL over here, yay! And now you're getting, like, especially the Jags games, you're getting the Jags fans for it. You're getting, like, teams fans now coming to make sure they watch their team play.
Yeah.
Not just hit and miss. You're still getting every 32 teams there. I mean, we had 3 different, what you do, us 3 are all there, But I think it will, if they're going to have more games, Roger Goodell said they're going to have 4 games. I agree with the
Thanks, Jack.
No, I'm not denying that as well. Kelly's just literally started watching as well.
Yeah, I saw that too. About 5 seconds after you said careful.
Hi, Kelly. She just said hello, and I'll put it on the screen in a minute. I mean, Roger Goodell said they're going to be playing the next 4 years there, which is brilliant, and it's growing. It'll grow the sport over on this side of the pond, which is awesome. Love that.
Apparently, Kelly's been here all along.
Have you? It's just popped up that you're watching. That's why.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
I think the more they play over there, the more it'll get, right, my team's coming out, I'm going to make sure I'm going to go. Less people are going to want to go. That's not their team.
I think...
And it will become more of a game.
One of the big draws for the German fans was Tom Brady.
Yeah. And they do...
Because, apparently... it's a bit like Messi or Ronaldo. You could be like, I've seen X play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about Ronaldo at the moment, please. Thank you.
Yeah, can we ignore that one? Can CR7...
Yeah, no, his interview goes out Wednesday, though, doesn't it, Shane? We can talk about it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Probably, when I've calmed down.
Small club mentality.
Well, we're talking about one-man team. Should we put Verstappen in there, too?
Hey, don't.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Kelly's just come up with a really good one.
Well, I mean... Then they're not playing in Bayern next season, are they? They're not playing in...
No, it is Dusseldorf, isn't it?
I thought it was Frankfurt.
I know it might be the next... I know they've got Frankfurt, Dusseldorf, and there's 4 areas they're going to. But yeah.
I think Frankfurt's next.
Yeah. Let's not talk about Max Verstappen and his selfishness. Shall we talk about Detroit Lions comeback? We're gonna leave. I think we're gonna leave. Let's leave Buffalo to Miami until the last game because that was by far. I think we're gonna. Yeah, I think we'll have all night talking about that one.
Yes.
Let's talk about
and the little discussion me, you, and our former host had on Facebook.
Oh yes, yeah. Going back to Kelly. I don't think Bayern want them playing every year. It's different when it's in a national stadium because it gives time to prepare. But yeah, in a football stadium, don't know.
Did anybody else? Did you guys watch the Sky coverage of the Germany game just while I'm?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I watched the Game Pass coverage.
I watched Sky coverage, and
did you
they
have
had it.
Did you have the same commentators or not?
Same comment. Yeah, we had Eisen.
I mean,
Rich Eisen, yeah, Kurt Warner.
they cut to what's his name, Jeff, every now and then, but
Neil.
Did you,
so Neil, I'm going to say,
did you guys find that Michael Irving didn't talk much?
Yeah, he used all his lines up when he was in the longest yard. There you go. Kelly said she listened to TalkSport commentary pretty decent.
Was Nat Coombs doing it, Kelly? Because was it Nat? I love Nat. I think he's brilliant.
I know when I listened to the TalkSport on the comment, they used the home team's radio coverage, which is
what
brilliant.
I did when I was on my way home.
That's
apart
cool.
From when it's the Jets who are very biased.
Mm.
So let's go to the first of the brothers playing each other. Amon-Ra and Economius, same program.
Equanimous.
So obviously Amon-Ra won in more ways than one. He had more receptions. He had more yardage in general.
Did he also get injured though?
Well, he had 10 receptions for 119
Yeah,
yards.
but he got injured in the fourth quarter.
Did he go out in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that bit. I think Lions might have got away with it a bit.
I'm happy the Lions won, because I'm chuffed for them. I really enjoyed watching Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
and
brilliant in it.
Lions do well, but and the Bears, Justin Fields has turned really good.
Justin Fields is if there was scores with the other way around, a 7-3, you would be talking Justin Fields in the MVP category.
Yes.
Oh yeah, all day.
And Kelly's going to mark that down as Justin Fields as a MVP character, because yes, he only threw for 167 yards, but he rushed for 147 yesterday.
Does Kelly have an MVP counter on this podcast or something?
Yeah, because we mentioned a lot of people who should be in so-and-so categories. He reminds me a lot of a certain running back, quarterback we've got down there.
What you mean?
You mean running back that pretends to throw a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, he's back, is he? We've missed you all.
Yeah. I mean, he runs around, he makes space in the pocket, and he goes, "Sod this, I'm gone." I mean, he had another 67-yard touchdown yesterday. Second game on the bounce.
Kelly seems to be claiming Hutch.
There's a certain little girl who's got a Hutch jersey coming for a Christmas present.
Oh.
I hope she's not watching. She just ruined it.
What? 10 to 9 at night? Bloody well, hope not.
I very much doubt that.
Santa's bringing it, Ollie.
I will say one thing. I will say one thing really quickly, and then we can jump back on the Justin Fields train. Cole Kmet scored 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks for the Bears now. Tight end.
Didn't he also get injured though?
Yes.
Yeah, but
no,
the point I'm making is he's making plays and he's very much under the radar.
Yeah, don't remind me. He won my guy's fantasy football game against me.
He clashed knees with Julian Okawara.
Oh yeah, that was.
I saw that. That looked awful.
That
yeah.
looked nasty. I mean, I've had enough knee injuries to know about it. I mean, but Okawara had a good game as well. Two QB hits. He almost had an interception on there as well. 2 tackles for a loss. Am I looking at the right guy? Yeah, he is. So he's a good game. The defense stood up.
Yeah.
When you say 30 points, really did they stand up? But when you're up against Justin Fields, who literally can, like that, he's gone into space. It's like, whoa, where's that gone?
I was a bit disappointed that Dan Campbell didn't ask him to stop it too.
So I absolutely love that for Mike McDaniel. Will you stop it? That's brilliant last week.
I love how on
I-
the podium he's like, yeah, it was really annoying. I just wanted him to stop it, and he just didn't listen. Didn't take the coaching.
Yeah, fair play. I love that. That shows a character that not many head coaches have, and it's like, yeah, I don't give a toss what people say.
I like Mike McDaniel's a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, it's Friday, and just go with me on this. Maybe we could talk about the game on Sunday. Maybe we could talk
Novel
about
concept.
the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh man,
That one made me laugh.
he's come out with some great comments this year. This was Lions have now won 2 games on the bounce,
Yeah, both against divisional opposition too.
both against divisional matchups. This is their first road win in 2 years.
That's nuts.
They've now turned. I think they are turning the corner. I would have
agree with
said. I would have said 2 weeks ago, Dan Campbell would have been starting to sit on that hot seat. His seat would have been starting to feel a little bit hot.
You clearly still got Mike McDaniel on your brain.
Yeah, it's the aviators, man, on the sidelines. It just does it for me. I think he's now turned the corner. Yeah, Campbell's turning the corner. It's because I got Max Verstappen in my head and not letting Checo pass.
I have my reasons. I'll stand by them.
Yeah, the thing is now they've got a couple of difficult games. They got Giants and then they got Bills. Then they've got Jags, Vikings, Jets, Panthers, and Bears, and then they finish at Green Bay.
Ooh.
They've got a tough run: bar Jags, Panthers.
Yeah,
and possibly
Vikings.
Bears.
Did say Vikings win there?
Yeah, they go to New York next on Sunday.
So
Yep,
Giants
Sunday.
or Jets?
Giants.
All tough
They
games.
got Giants and Jets, both in
tough
New
games.
York. So they've got a tough.
Kelly's coming with a prediction.
Yeah, 3, maybe. I reckon 2, probably against the Jags and the Panthers. I don't know about one. I don't know where the third one's going to come
I
from.
reckon they can beat the Bears in Ford Field if they beat them in Chicago.
It's a possibility. It really is a possibility, but we'll see. It's a long time to go yet.
Kelly's saying Green Bay.
Possibly.
Green Bay showed up
So
at
much-
Lambeau last night, though.
No,
Good time.
Christian Watson had a breakout. We'll get
which
to that in
is
a bit.
part of Green Bay.
Yeah. Let's go to. I've got a very happy son upstairs. Apart from, I want to. Right. You've got a player who got it. No, you two. I'll get it right in a minute. You two, them two.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
them
Have
two.
you got an unhappy
Yeah.
son?
Yeah, those two.
Have you got an unhappy son, or is he not a Chargers fan anymore?
He
Oh, no,
can't
he's-
make up his mind. It's Chargers or Bengals.
Yeah, he's a Bengals fan, isn't he?
Okay, so Andre Cisco, how the hell did he stay on the pitch for Jacksonville?
I don't know.
There was a
Unreal.
hit on Juju. There was another hit on. I can't remember his name now.
I think
want to say.
It was,
I want to say
they're both
MVS.
yeah, it was MVS, yeah.
The one on Juju is straight cap off ejection because it is a
Yes.
helmet to helmet at full pace. We'll
It's
talk
like
about.
unnecessary roughness, helmet to helmet, defenseless receiver. Just more unnecessary.
Do made in.
I don't want to say this, but it reminded me of that AB hit by who was it? Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah, I know you was. It was. Yeah,
That's what it reminded me of, and that's
it
not
was a
it.
nasty, nasty hit, and he wasn't even penalised.
There
There was
there
no
was-
penalty.
I think there was a penalty, wasn't there?
I don't think there was. I know there was on the MVS one, but I don't remember the one being on the Juju. I didn't remember seeing a flag unless they were cut away from it in red zone. I don't know.
I think there was a flag.
But yeah, I mean, Noah's watching it on his phone, and he said he's just been lit up. Obviously, he didn't see it. It was. I mean, Cisco was at full pelt with his thong on at
Lol.
Juju's head.
I like
Yeah,
the
there was
reference
flag. It
there,
was
Ollie.
flagged. I just watched it now. I've just got it up. Yeah,
I feel like both Phil and Shane missed that reference, but I like it.
I heard it.
Thank you. obviously the NFL will take some kind of retrospective action against that because
he'll probably get fined and banned.
yeah, because not once in the game but twice
I
it
think he'll
looked
get
like
fined.
he
I
was
don't
out
think he'll get banned.
targeting.
Well, I mean, Fontaine Burfict got banned.
He was targeting. He was out there targeting. He was headhunting, and that one on Juju was uncalled for. It really was. Your head's there, and I'm hitting it.
It did. It did knock Juju out momentarily.
Yeah, it was. His hands were like to his hands.
Like that was not a voluntary reaction from it. That was your body being like, just sort of fight or flight mode, as it were.
It's just lucky. I'm just amazed he actually managed to walk. I mean, no, he was held, but still walk off the pitch.
Yeah, because obviously Tua was, completely different situation. Tua had concussion 4 days earlier.
Yeah.
Back injury 4 days earlier, sorry. But yeah, it is a shame because Juju was just on a tick in that offense.
Yeah, Juju could have really helped my fantasy football team out there.
Yeah.
You selfish boy. You selfish boy. Nothing to do with his health, it's fine.
Yeah, Noah tried to trade for it.
Yeah. Can we talk about Noah's trades?
What, Noah Gray this is, the tight end who had 2 receptions for 20 yards?
Noah, I'll give you KJ Osborne for Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah, seems fair.
We'll talk about Dave's trades to Noah later on. I can't remember. I've got a photo of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't be asked to go onto my phone and get them. Kelsey's first touchdown since his 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville just never went away.
No,
they were always there, weren't they?
Yeah, but in my opinion, KC never looked like losing. They were there, but they were never there. You know what I mean?
But I said the Jags would give him a game. I said they'd beat them, but I knew they wouldn't just roll over and die.
No, we've all seen strange happenings in this league because that's what happens.
Yep.
But yeah. Kadarius Toney not only had his first catch in the NFL, had his first catch for Kansas, but he had his first touchdown in the NFL.
That's mad.
In his second game for Kansas. Yeah, he would spent a lot of his first. He's the second year, isn't he? Was he third year?
Second year.
A lot of his first year injured for New York.
Yes.
But yeah.
It's funny how as soon as he went to Kansas, he was no longer injured.
It's that I want to go and play with Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is starting to get, and Josh Allen and those kind of players are now getting the I want to go and play with that player.
Potentially Jalen Hurts might get that this offseason.
Yeah, and I think people are going to look at, maybe the way that Justin Fields is going this second half of the season going, I rather, especially if you're a lineman, you're going to want to play with him.
They can take Mike McGlinchey off our hands.
They can take Ishmael Wynn as well off ours.
What do you reckon, Phil? Phil, what do you reckon about this game? Do you see anything that stands out to you at all?
What, between the Jags and Chiefs?
Yeah.
No, I expected a very even the late resurgence in the fourth quarter from the Jags. It's still a very mid to below average Jacksonville game, and the Chiefs are just dominant, and it sickens me that they're 7-2 because they're probably going to get to the AFC Championship and they're probably going to get to the Super Bowl.
They're probably going to host.
It's just a classic example of a poor team being understandably run over by a really good team.
Yeah, I think I think they will host like the millionth AFC Championship game in a row.
For the fifth game on the bounce, fifth year on the bounce.
Yeah. Wow,
it's ridiculous. But there is a team that has taken control of the AFC East in Miami. They are now number 1 seed in the AFC East.
Well, yeah, East.
I have a new favourite player that I'm going to pick for Play of the Week, and it's going to be for Thomas Morstead. Do you know who Thomas Morstead is?
I can't say I do.
He is the punter for the Miami Dolphins. And in the second half, he did not make one single punt. So he took a little nap on the sidelines, and I just love that kind of pure arrogance as a punter. He's 36 years old anyway. He's getting on in his career. Why not have a nap when your team is absolutely blowing out
How many
the
punts
Texans?
Miami have had in the last 2 years, in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sorry.
1, 2.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And-
That's the kind of guaranteed money that I'd love from a punter. This is why punters earn their keep. So
according
Thomas
to-
Morstead, you're now my new favourite player.
Oh yes, and according to Good Morning Football this minute, Tua is putting the same numbers up that Patrick Mahomes did when he won MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
Tua's really good. I'm so glad that Tua's being allowed to play this year.
Interesting.
Can we
Come on, go on. I was going to say, come on, 49ers fans. Here's your chance. Jump aboard the Jeff Wilson Jr. Express. Come on, two.
I was literally about to talk about Jeff Wilson Jr.
I know.
But before that, I need to ask Ollie. What's your thoughts
Yes.
on Tua?
He will get found out at some point.
Hell
Hell
As
no.
Kenny just said,
Hell no. Hell no. Hell will freeze over before I say Tua's in the MVP conversation.
I'm not surprised that Jeff Wilson Jr. is putting up numbers. I have always been high on Jeff Wilson Jr. I understand why we traded him, because I think it was get a 5th round pick now rather than nothing at the end of the season.
Yep.
And he's probably not going to contribute that much in these 8 games. But I'm happy Jeff Wilson Jr. is playing well, and I hope he goes to Miami and gets paid because he deserves it.
I'm going to say Tua's putting these numbers up because he's got Jalen Waddle. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got Mike Gesicki. He's now got Jeff Wilson Jr. He's got Cedric Wilson Jr. He's putting those numbers up because he has good wide receiving core. He's got a very, very good wide receiving core. And even Trent Sheffield scored a touchdown yesterday.
No, nobody was
His
saying
first
that.
touchdown in the NFL.
Nobody
It's-
was saying, well, Patrick Mahomes is only picking up his numbers because he's got Tyreek Hill, he's got Travis Kelce, he's got McCall Hardman. Nobody said that.
But
Ollie's got you there, Ollie.
yeah, he has got me there. I'll give him that. But bar Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill's new, Cedric Wilson's new, Jeff Wilson new, Raheem Mostert came in this year as well. Okay, Gesicki was last year as well. It's 5 new toys to play with. Miami last year were a minus 500 or a below a 500 team, and now they are, I think, it's 3rd or 4th in the AFC.
Do you not think it's coaching? Do you not think Mike McDaniels has something to do with that?
Yes, Mike McDaniels has something like that, but you've got those toys to play with as well, and I
Maybe
think
like-
that is a big part of it.
So
You know,
I'm
you
gonna say
put
Tua should
put-
be in the MVP race, and Mike McDaniels should be in the Coach of the Year race.
Mike McDaniels, yes, because he has turned that franchise
And
around.
also Tyreek Hill should be in the MVP race.
I had to talk about a wide receiver that should be an MVP race later on.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, then, boys? Nick Chubb awful quiet yesterday.
He was a bit quiet yesterday.
He got one. That's all he did, really.
Against his cousin. His cousin tackled him, I think it was 4 or 5 times.
His cousin played well. Badly job.
Yeah. That has now, I'm lucky we don't play them now for another 5 or 6 weeks, so you can get game tape to this new defense on there, because Nick Chubb has taken that defense to another level. Not Nick
Yeah.
Chubb, sorry, Bradley Chubb
Badly
has
job.
taken that defense to another level.
Yeah.
It's a shame this is probably going to be Jacoby's last start of the season
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yes.
3 wins.
Oh no, does he know of one more? Oh, no, they're on
Do
bye.
they- they're
I
on
swear
bye
they're
now.
on- I think they're on by week 12, aren't they? Is it
I
back
will
week
just
12?
check that now. They are. Oh no, they got. Oh no, that's a lie. Okay, they've got 2 more games, and then so I thought I thought Texans were for that. Yeah, so they've got Bills next week. Then they've got Buccaneers. Then they've got their bye. Really, I thought their bye was later than that. And then they've got Texans, which is when
Deshaun is back.
Deshaun is back. So he's got 2 more starts. I don't think he's done anything wrong. He's
No, I
played.
think Jacoby's played
well.
okay.
He's had a lot of going on in the background. He's had over 2,000 yards, which is 15th in the league. His touchdowns are 8. His QBR rating is 5th in the NFL. He's having a good season.
It wouldn't surprise me if Jacoby plays maybe 3 or 4 weeks back when Deshaun's back. That wouldn't surprise me.
You reckon he still get games?
I think
Still get game
Deshaun.
time?
I think if Deshaun doesn't perform, people might start calling for Jacoby back.
Yeah.
We always knew he was a placeholder, especially with this big deal in place. And in a few weeks, when the Texans come to town, the cuffs are going to be off, and then we'll see what's. Sorry,
Yeah.
I meant to say gloves. My apologies.
Should we go to Texans?
Certainly.
This was a pretty
Phil.
boring game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did New York try and throw it away, Phil?
I thought there's a couple of instances this weekend where I noticed that some of the bigger teams that had the bigger, the big win ratio, third quarter into fourth quarter, they massively sat back. Now, understandably, you want to rest your stars. I noticed this happened in the Dolphins game. It happened drastically in the Lions game. And even in the Titans-Broncos game, they took out some of their starters. But the Texans, I really like Mills. I said this either on Thursday's episode or Monday's episode. I quite like Mills. I don't think he's your franchise quarterback, but he's a very solid, proficient quarterback.
I think he's the definition of a bridge.
The one?
Definition of a bridge quarterback. Mills.
Yeah. And I think the Texans will probably look to draft a quarterback this offseason regardless. Yeah, it just... I don't... No, I think the Texans the Giants saw it out, but it was very lackluster to end with. I think that would be my stance on it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's
Barkley's
deceptive.
still
I mean, the Texans are 1-7, well 1-7-1, but they're not who I think are the clear worst in the league this year. Like I think their win-loss ratio is very deceptive. Anyone else?
Yeah,
disagree?
they've lost
It
a
is
lot of
strange.
games closely, haven't they? It's been like
Yeah.
they've lost a lot of close games.
Like I
They've got
can't
a
think
lot
if I
of one
get their if I get their stats up for the last couple of weeks, I don't think they've been blown out at all.
No, I mean, they were close.
So just
They
looking
took a
at
14-point lead against the Eagles. They tied against, obviously, Colts. One score lost against Denver. One score against the Bears. 10 points against Chargers. One score again. They beat the Jags by one score. Raiders kind of blew them out 38-20. Then there's one score against Tennessee. Eagles made it look a lot more comfortable than it did at the end. And then again, it was one score yesterday.
Yeah, I mean,
it is literally one score.
And the only score that genuinely surprised me is the Raiders. Like it's I mean, it's a lot of. Well, I'm saying that though, it's a lot of so-so teams because with the exception of the Eagles and the Giants, who are nobody expected them come into the season with a positive start. They've not been they've not really been great teams that they've even lost to. So maybe that is me looking a little bit into it, but
No, I'm with you.
yeah,
With the exception of the Eagles, they've not played anyone like
No.
great.
Yeah.
They've had, they are very half glass full. A couple of swings either way, they could have won this. They could have won. They could have won the games. They've got a incredibly good running back at Damian Pierce, who was like literally a smidge short of 100 yards again yesterday.
His fumble was
On the
kind of costly
ground.
though.
Sorry.
saying that though, I mean,
His fumble was kind of costly.
Yeah, I mean that's unlike him though, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't.
I mean, to
It's
finish
not
off the
very
season,
good.
they play Washington next, and then they play the Dolphins, and then obviously the big game with the Browns. Then they're at Dallas. Then they play the Chiefs. Then they're in Tennessee, and then they play the Jags, and then they finish the season with Jeff Saturday's boys. So
It doesn't get any easier then, does it?
no. They might
mean-
generally just finish the season with one win.
No. Yeah. The next two games, Red Zone didn't really show a lot of these two. Pittsburgh.
Denver,
No.
Denver, Tennessee is definitely one of them then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, New Orleans.
I tell you
that
what.
wasn't really shown.
Yeah, Shane, did you watch Brandon's review of the Tennessee Broncos game on that Good Sport?
I did not, but I saw the thumbnail for it, and it didn't seem like a very positive one.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's saying it's genuinely the worst performance again. Like he was a new low for the Broncos and how massively poor they are.
Yeah, I mean-
Red Zone didn't cut to them that much, and I haven't really read too much into it. But looking what Twitter was blowing up at, the Broncos are just dead. They're just dead.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
They've beaten that poor horse to death.
Yeah, Russell Wilson tried to flea flick exactly the same that Ryan Tannehill did, just he threw it straight to a Tennessee player. Literally, straight down the Tennessee player's throat.
Didn't Ryan Tannehill's flea flicker was on a touchdown?
Yeah, on to Nick Westbrook-Keene, who I won't lie, never heard of until yesterday.
Same.
You know, and he had 5 receptions,
and then at one point,
119 yards.
And then at one point, me and you both wanted him for Player of the Week.
Exactly the same time. I was like, joke, and his literally just popped up before me. It's like you. Yeah, it's really poor, and I mean Pittsburgh wasn't much better, but they just played again.
Honestly, I forgot
Ended up playing a
Pittsburgh
bad
New Orleans
Saints
was even
team.
a game.
Yeah.
I
It
forgot that was
was.
even a game.
I will say, I
Yeah.
thought Kenny Pickett, when they did cut to him, looked really poor.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he didn't
I
turn the
won't-
ball over.
At one point, they showed Trubisky warming up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
He did, yeah, I saw that.
Kenny took it. Kenny took a hit on a run.
Oh, and sorry, I need to go back onto the Broncos Tennessee one because I've just remembered it. At one point, because I did see this on Twitter, the game was that bad that they were cutting to the difference between the Tennessee punter and another punter and how they actually go releasing the ball and dropping it. The game was that boring that they were showing side by side them dropping the ball onto the foot as they kick and then talk about the different techniques of the punting. That's how epically
Hunter
bad that game was.
comparisons.
Yeah, honestly, it was that bad.
I'm going to jump to LA Rams because I've just seen a couple of bits of news come up from Cardinals regarding a couple of their players. Zach Ertz is done for the season. He's got a knee injury, so that's his done for the season. And they are cutting Eno Benjamin as well. Their backup running back is being cut, according to Adam Scheifter.
I guess that means James Conner's back then.
Oh, James Conner had a game yesterday.
Yeah, he scored yesterday. Yeah, he scored
21 carries, 69 yards.
Yeah, I didn't really see the late games.
And 2 touchdowns as well. I mean,
I'm still recovering.
Does Arizona look better under Colt McCoy?
It's a different kind of quarterback, isn't it? You know, than Kyler Murray. I think he stays in the pocket a lot more. Where with Murray being a dual threat, you obviously change your defensive schemes to cope with each individual as they play. You know, but I think like Colt McCoy yesterday, 20, he had 37 attempts, 26 completions, 238 yards, and 1 touchdown. And the whole offense, rushing and receiving, was 298 yards. So he basically was the bulk of the offense.
I still have
Let's put it
nightmares
this way.
about McCoy from last season.
They were still nearly 90 yards more offense than the LA Rams were.
Yeah,
the LA Rams scored 17 points, and I don't remember them doing anything. I generally do not remember them doing anything.
I mean,
I don't remember Cooper Kupp.
Kupp was anonymous in this game.
Oh, he's had
Well,
3
the
receptions.
Rams
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I just
Three,
looked at that as well.
3 receptions for -1 yards. Cooper Kupp was for minus a
Could
yard.
the Rams be genuinely the worst defending Super Bowl champions ever?
Yes. Without a question. Without a question.
Because
I mean,
this is. I mean, they've got. They can't even tank because they've gotten rid of all of their picks, so they are stuck in the. They're stuck in this horrible kind of like stratosphere of we have too much talent being the used term this season, that they shouldn't be in the position that they are, because what are they, 4th now in our division? And yet they can't even they can't even tank because they've got no 1st and 2nd round picks. They're in a worse position than the 49ers are.
Do they have talent? Yes, you've got Cooper Kupp, yes, you've got
Akers, Donald.
Donald,
Alan
Ramsey. On the defense
brought
side
in
of the
as
ball,
well.
defensive side of the ball, they've got the talent, but offensive side of the ball, they are really, really poor.
Mm.
You know, Stafford is one of these players who would always give you a touch, always give you an interception, always give you touchdowns. And they've
Yep.
always relied on that defense, you know, especially Ramsey. Ramsey was sat a long way off DeAndre Hopkins. He was 5 or 6 yards off him for a lot of the snaps that he's lined up against him.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what a shutout corner should be doing. A shutout corner should be right up against him. I mean, I was a man coverage corner. You know, you're at the line of scrimmage. You're like a hand straight to the camera. Then you are literally hand on the line. I mean, you play T end and defensive end, so you be on both sides. But a shutout corner, literally, you can touch them. And he wasn't. He was 5 or 6 yards, and it showed too much respect to them. And it really did. And it's almost like we've got our ring now. We can sit off. And even Aaron Donald doesn't look as good as he did last season. Anyway,
I mean, I know the Niners beating them is nothing new. But
Whose house? Whose house is it? Ron's house.
A couple of weeks ago, the Rams looked very poor against the Niners, especially in the second half.
And boys, John Wolford, anyone? Before yesterday, before they told us that Stafford was out, I'd never heard of John Wolford in my life.
I had.
He
played a couple of years ago.
When Jared Goff went down injured in
But
their Super Bowl run.
Colt McCoy.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's underrated. I mean, he put the Niners to the sword last season. And I really hope Kyle is back next week because I think he'll do it again in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, Colt McCoy, he looks after the ball well. He took a couple of sacks. His QBR rating was 96. He didn't do anything stupid. Threw the ball away. Didn't run around like a Madden player. It was great.
Especially if George Kittle ends up in Italy.
Colt McCoy has been one of those where his career at the Browns and then the Redskins has not done him any favors.
No.
Yeah.
Bit like
and
Gino.
It's this horrible curse of being drafted out of. I mean, he was a third rounder. I think he was a third. He wasn't first. He was a third rounder. So then playing 3-ish years in Cleveland, and then bouncing around other teams when he was in Washington, and then he was in San Fran for Harbaugh's last year.
One season, I think.
Yeah, he was. I don't know whether it was Harbaugh's last year because I know we had Blaine Gabbert. Again, Blaine Gabbert, another example of being drafted by a poor team, and never really hitting his potential. But Colt McCoy, he's very proficient. I rate him very highly.
I was going to go to Las Vegas, but I've just seen a picture and I've just put it on a group chat of a defensive lineman sitting on Aaron Rodgers' head. and it comes on the top saying Rodgers getting teabagged.
Sure, that's the guy yesterday.
So as I said pre-show, I went to bed about half time because I had a migraine. I went to bed saying, Dallas are 14 points up, they've got this. And then Dallas did Dallas. And then Christian Watson had his breakout game.
Did anyone watch this? Because I have no idea what happened.
I kind of watched it, but I've seen Christian Watson's receptions. All three of them, the 3 touchdowns were brilliant catches, and then he did a standing backflip in the end zone. I've just seen that one. It's such a good play. I mean, what is going wrong with Dallas? I don't know. Was it Mike McCarthy being too emotional going back to Lambeau?
Did you guys see that Mike McCarthy turned up dressed like Vince Lombardi this week?
Oh, shut up. Oh,
really?
My God.
Yeah.
You're just asking for crap.
You know, like the white shirt, the big overcoats.
Yeah.
What an arse. I know it's cold in Lambeau, but, you know, Dak Prescott had 2 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers looked a little bit like Aaron Rodgers did from last season. But, yeah, it's... Tony Pollard had 115 yards on the ground yesterday. Tony Pollard is having a hell of a season.
Tony Pollard is proving that he's so much better than Zeke.
He is. I didn't realize until early on in the season how quick that bloke is.
Oh, he's rapid.
He literally hits the cap and he's gone. It's like, okay, he's gone. You ain't catching him. Apart from CD Lamb, do they have any good receivers in Dallas?
Gallup is
Gallup?
a good receiver, but he's not showing it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
he's on reputation at the moment.
Yeah. I said this a couple of lessons ago. I said this a couple of weeks ago about the Cowboys, how they had quietly risen to like 6-2, and nobody was making a big deal out of it. I don't know whether or not it's because they're not a superstar team. I mean, it's the Dallas Cowboys, but watching the game and the highlights this morning, I'm just not impressed. I mean, the Packers needed the win anyway. Like they needed to for their own mental health.
Sanity.
But yeah, I was not impressed with the Cowboys and the fact that they scored. I mean, they scored 14 in the second quarter, then they scored 14 again in the third, and then they were shut out in the fourth. I was not impressed. Not impressed with them.
Just circling back to the wide receivers, why did they trade Cooper?
It was a bit of that and a bit of Jerry Jones trying to have authority, and Jerry Jones is one of those GM owners who want complete and utter control of this.
Yeah, he's such a senile maniac. And I mean that in the most amazing sense, because he hasn't been relevant for so long.
Lovely bloke.
I mean, their star player is their defensive end, linebacker, middle linebacker, outside linebacker, cornerback, whatever the hell you want to call Micah Parsons.
I love Micah Parsons, man.
He is electric.
He's this generation's Lawrence Taylor. I'm just going to call that now.
Wow.
Oh,
I like watching him play. He's so quick. He can play on the end. He can play on the edge.
Phil, do you think he'll headline a WrestleMania one day too?
Oh my God! Imagine Micah Parsons versus Braun Strowman in the main event. Oh my God!
I'd like to see Micah Parsons versus George Kittle in the main event.
Stone Cold George Kittle on the people's tight end.
I'm not getting into this now because we can talk about this all day. But I will point out one thing.
We've not got to the Niners yet. Can you wait?
That might be the first and only time I actually watched WWE.
You tried. I appreciate that.
I'd actually be all over that.
Like I said, let me just tell you about one quick stat from this game, which is to me is astounding, right? Christian Watkins scored a hat trick, right? Guess on how many receptions without cheating?
3.
4.
I better not look them.
4 receptions. That is incredible. Wow. 8 targets, 4 receptions.
They've been trying to get this guy going all season.
Yeah.
All season, and now they found it. It's a case of they were saying in the first half, I mean, they were trying to run the ball, and then it was like they were going at some point, he's going to have to throw the bloody ball. They are literally going to have to throw this ball, and then throw the ball, bang, gone. I can see there's a lot of Green Bay fans are not happy with Armani Rogers.
Yeah.
I think that's his fourth or fifth fumble on the kick returns this season. I know he definitely had one against us. He is shocking on the kick return. Get him off there,
And when you see players like that, I mean, when you have a player like that in terms of like the kick returns and any kind of like positional player, and they keep making the same basic mistakes over and over, you lose faith in that teammate really, really quickly. Like it only needs to happen twice that you go, I can't trust him anymore. And that changes the dynamic so much on both sides of the ball, because you're thinking, well, we don't want to give them the ball back because so-and-so could fumble. And a kickoff, you're thinking about it. And a punt returns, you're thinking about it because you've got your eyes in the back of your head as well as what's going in front of you. So I can kind of see a little bit from Aaron's point of view where he's got players that aren't even executing the basics right. And I think that's just been a recurring thing with a lot of receivers this year, where there's been a lot of dropped passes and you go, ooh. And when we come into the 49ers game, I'll mention a couple there, but it's a bit of a pandemic at the moment.
It is. Saturday showed up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that in there somehow.
Sorry, but the penny took a while to drop, but yeah, it's very witty.
Oh
That's why we're talking about that. Isn't the black hole the only place where the house loses? Indeed.
Yes, obviously.
Oh,
I've never
nice.
seen.
How long have you been working on that? How long have you been working on that?
Since,
I
since
don't know
my
if John's
yes.
watching.
Did you find that on
right?
Twitter and pass it off as your own?
No, I thought of it yesterday.
I
You've been
want to
waking up
say
with a dead
something.
head in your bed in the morning now.
How bad is your defense if you let Matt Ryan run for 39 yards
Oh,
in one play?
I saw that. I didn't think he was capable of it at his age.
No, mate.
But I thought next play we were going to see him on the sideline with the oxygen.
Get Sam in. Get Sam in. I'm dead. You know, it
Get
just
Sam in.
shows like. I mean, you.
Now,
Saturday's
can
past,
I,
wasn't
before
it?
we go on, before we talk about how amazing Jeff Saturday's career is and how contradictory it is to the NFL coach landscape about how this high school football coach has just walked into the NFL and got a first victory without really having to do anything. Can I just read out the transcript of Derek Carr's post-game press
Oh,
conference
please.
interview?
You can.
Now, I am a former drama teacher, so I might try and do it in an emotional reading aspect, if you will. Okay. So, Derek Carr comes to the podium after the game. He looks devastated. He looks like he's about to cry. And he's asked a question, and he goes to answer it and stops, and it kind of puts him off a little bit. And he goes, "No, sorry for being emotional. I'm just pissed off about some of the things that a lot of us try and do to practice." Pause, emotional pause. What we put our bodies through just to sleep at night. And for that to be the result of all that effort pisses me off. Pisses a lot of guys off. It's hard work. It's hard knowing what some guys are doing. Like I said, just to practice what we're putting our body through just to sleep at night. Just so we can be there for each other. And I wish everybody in that room felt the same way about this place. And as a leader, that pisses me off, if I'm honest.
When he talked about practice, I was expecting him to go into a full Allen Iverson practice van then.
Yeah. I mean, looking at his stats, Carr went 24 for 38, 248 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 126 of those went to Devontae Adams.
Ollie, what's this comment?
It's the crying emoji.
What for the emotional?
Because he was crying. He was generally crying. I was hoping it would rain down on the screen, but yeah, he was, you know.
And how he ended as well. So I've just got a little bit more. When he was asked about Josh McDaniels, I love Josh. I love our coaches. They've had nothing but success, you know. Way more success than I've ever had. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's just buried himself right there. I think Carr's time has come. He's been in the league 8 years. He's got 0 playoff victories. But he's not the worst thing about the Raiders. There's problems on defense watching it, and there's problems on the offensive line.
Carr is astoundingly mid quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're picking at 2 in March, April time. They're picking at 2.
Are they?
Are
they?
Yeah, they are picking at 2. Yeah, according to what I saw on Bleacher earlier, they are picking at 2.
Yeah, they will be.
I don't think they'll take a quarterback.
No.
You've got a veteran quarterback there. You need to build a young team around it. I've said this about a couple of other teams this year. Build that young team around them, then put a rookie quarterback in who's gone in with players who's been around the league 2, 3, 4 years. You know the league, who plays well, then this rookie can set in quite well. I mean, this is one reason why Mac did well last year. A, we had good coaching, and B, he had a lot of veterans around him.
Yeah,
and an O-line.
You also had a coach who would sit down and cuddle him on the sideline.
Yeah, and go, right, you did this wrong, you need to do this. And he's not. He's just gone, yeah, whatever. He can deal with it. He's a big boy and all that, which is not. He's in his second year. Yeah. Go on then, you two. I know you two have been wanting to go about
Before we do, just a quick thing from this game. Do you know who actually turned up for the first time this season, ran for 147 yards, and he managed to get a score on the board?
Jonathan Taylor.
JT.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes. Nice to see him back. But hopefully now this will be. I mean, yeah, he's taking his time, but hopefully this will be a renaissance for him, and he'll be back to his old ways.
He
Hopefully.
needs it. Fire, gentlemen. Go on, gentlemen. Off you go.
Come on, and here we go.
Go on,
What
you say your
Hey,
piece.
we just leave them. Let them get on.
Do you
with
just mute yourselves for a little bit, because that would be a sick. Thank you. Thank you very much.
it.
So I'm going to start with our defense. I know 16 points is it's not low, but our defense was incredible. I mean, we didn't get many sacks. We only got 2, but we got so much pressure on Herbert.
Mhm.
He was having to get the ball off so quickly. Bosa got a sack. I think somebody else got a sack too. Willis, I think. Hafanga with the pick. And I mean, this is the second game in a row where we have done a second half shutout. And
Yeah.
That's 3 sacks in total.
it was a 3 sacks, okay. And Jimmy played very well. Ayuk, apart from the fumble and the drop in the end zone, played very well. Elijah Mitchell actually outshone McCaffrey, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did.
More carries, way more yards. It was almost like the number 2 guys, and Debo's the star. Ayuk played well. McCaffrey's the star. Mitchell played really well. And it just showed that we have so many pieces of offense that if 1 or 2 of them shows up, we can win any game.
So, I haven't watched this because I knew you two would be on about it all day. I've seen clips.
Yeah, me too.
I've seen the McCaffrey touchdown. I've seen Justin Herbert obviously trying literally a couple of throws on Justin Herbert. One was literally where the player was in his face, and he still managed to get away for the pass.
Yeah.
I've also seen one right at the very end where he's obviously trying to throw it, and he's thrown it straight and down the middle of the field. So it's obviously the receiver's gone out instead of coming into the middle. So that was obviously a bit of a misunderstanding there. But yeah, Chargers are getting shut out, and you guys only scored 12 points in the second half, though. Was it all field goals?
No, we scored a touchdown in the second half and missed the extra point. In fact, I think we scored. Yeah, we scored a Jimmy G quarterback sneak late in the first half.
Yeah.
And then McCaffrey scored a
Christian.
touchdown in the second half.
Yeah.
And what's it like having Debo and Christian together then?
Honestly,
They
they were both ineffective last night.
Yeah, my biggest problem watching the highlights and even looking through the stats is we have a very stacked offense. Like we do. We've Kittle, Ayuk, McCaffrey, Mitchell, Debo, Ray McLeod, Jawan. I'm a big fan of Jawan Jennings. I really am. He's such a great third wide receiving choice.
I mean, there was twice in the game last night that I can remember where on the third down we went to Jennings and he caught it short and just carried about 3 players over the line to gain.
Yeah. My only concern is, yes, defense wins championships, but the offense has also got to pull its weight, and I'm not convinced. I mean, I hope I'm completely wrong. That we should be blowing the Chargers away, and other than the Rams, we haven't convincingly beaten anyone this season.
Well, for me, the Chargers had a lot go their way in the first half.
Yes, but the Chargers are also The Chargers also had a lot of players out, and yes, they had some calls go towards them, but they looked like a poorly coached team anyway, and yet we still struggled in instances. No, don't get me wrong, our defense I thought were absolutely solid, completely second half shut out.
I would also like to talk about that Dre Greenlaw ejection.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much in it, and even the commentators seemed to allude to that it was very soft.
So, in my opinion, Herbert should have been classed as a runner as he was past the line of scrimmage. I don't know any defensive player that can adjust his body mid-air because somebody's been tackled. And Greenlaw didn't lower his helmet.
Yeah.
And can we also talk about that rules analyst who needs to just shut his mouth?
Is that Gene?
No, it wasn't Gene. It was Tony somebody or other. It was just like... So, basically, one of our players down the punt on the 1 yard line.
Okay.
The ref blew his whistle. Play over. Our player then gets celebrates with the teammates and runs into the end zone. And the rules on this oh well, I mean his feet didn't stop, so it should be a touchback. It's like the ref blew the play dead. And the just going on and on, like, this should be a touchback. This should be a touchback. The refs made a mistake. I was like, shut up. The ref, both of them, you can see two refs doing this.
Can we get on to Buffalo and Minnesota now?
Come on, we spent so much more time on other games. I want to talk about this one for a bit longer.
Keep going.
I do want to talk about the Chargers for a minute.
Go on then.
Yes, they had a lot of players out, and by the end, they had 3 defensive linemen fit by the end.
Mad, isn't it? It's really bad.
So, yes, maybe we should have scored more, but I mean, we did what we had to do. As I said on Facebook about the Buffalo game earlier, you can only beat what's put in front of you, and Niners took care of business. We're now half a game off Seattle, and we only have 2 games left this season against teams with over 500, and one of those is Seattle.
You say about Chargers having a lot of injuries. They play. I think they've got 10 games on turf.
Yeah.
8 of them at home, or 9. I can't remember if they're on the 8 or the 9. But they've got double digits. On turf.
Is SoFi turf?
SoFi is Astro. If you remember watching Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. Before we go on to this, hopefully this will work. So bear with me. I'm hoping this will work. This is the win percentage chart of last night's game.
Okay.
Up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like Buffalo, Minnesota. Buffalo.
In the end, it turns into a DJ Khaled song.
Oh,
up, down, up, down, up.
It
down.
was ridiculous. We're gonna start off. We'll start off with that Diggs catch.
Yep.
The one-handed, up in the air, off the ground.
I mean,
but
any other season that would be catch of the season, and now it's not even catch of the game.
No way.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not going to catch the season. I mean, we would have thought Pickens' catch in week 3 would have been catch of the season.
Yeah.
He's now got serious competition from that catch. I mean, Jefferson was. Phil said on the chat, it is Odell Beckham-esque against Dallas. I'm going to say it's better than Odell Beckham's.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's hands up. He's got the strength then to literally rip it from the defender's hands, bring it down, still keep it under control, and keep it off the ground. Unlike Gabriel Davis, who had a nice simple catch.
Can I just say something about the Vikings, which is going to be a bit critical of them, actually?
Go on then.
After scoring the touchdowns, anyone think that maybe they should have been able to hold out for 40 seconds and they shouldn't have gone to overtime?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I put on, I think, was it on the chat? They played their defense was far too soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far, far too soft. I mean, to let Josh Allen is electric anyway. To let Josh Allen go 17-yard rush, 19-yard rush, or vice versa, I can't remember which way it was now, in back-to-back plays to literally get yourself within field goal range from just him rushing, and then having
that dumb PI call.
Yeah, the stupid PI call, and then you have Gabe Davis not being able to catch. Should have, been reviewed because the ball was blatantly hit the ground. And Belichick said in his press conference, you should be able to review at least 2 plays in a game. Doesn't matter what it is, you should be able to call and review the game.
It would have been murder if the Vikings lost that. Sorry, if the Bills would have won that game, it would have been murder.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Not only that, but I'd never thought I'd see the day that Josh Allen doesn't get out of his end zone.
Fumbles, quarterback sneak.
Oh my god, that was I thought when the Vikings turned it over, when they didn't quite make either try for it, I left the room to go empty the dishwasher. I was going, well, this game's over.
Oh,
and then you hear like a commotion, and I went to my wife and went, oh, what's happened? What's happened? You know, because it's quite loud on the telly, and she's just sitting on her phone, and she's like, what's happened? What's going on? I was like, what? How have the Vikings got the like? How are the Vikings now winning? And she's like, I didn't watch her. I'm like,
Well done for keeping up, Jam.
I was watching I'm a Celebrity with it on my iPad, and then I was like, "What's just happened? How loud did the Vikings score a touchdown? What?" I was actually texting Jack, who said Jay Jets and Jefferson for MVP, and I was like, "The Vikes are now winning. I'm not quite sure how they're winning, but they are."
Yeah,
I was hoping Justin Jefferson would come on the show and talk to us about that catch, and then he could talk about it in general. I mean, he has put this up. I mean, his stats last night: 10 receptions, 193 yards.
Yep.
I agree with Jack on that one.
Justin Jefferson this year,
Might as well be.
just over 1,000 yards. He's second in that. He's only scored 4 touchdowns this year.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a touchdown since about week 3 or something.
No, see. He always has the yardage. I mean, obviously he's second behind Tyreek.
Yeah.
In the reception yards. If you are putting that Jefferson in that conversation, surely Tyreek Hill should be in that because he's leading.
Tyreek's got more touchdowns. Way more touchdowns. I said earlier Tyreek for MVP.
Yeah, you did. I mean, this is why I've come back to that state.
Yeah. I think if Jefferson's in the conversation, I mean, Jefferson won't win it because the MVP have history of mugging Jefferson off.
And go to quarterbacks.
For lack of a better term.
So I feel like both Jefferson and Tyreek should be in the conversation for MVP, and Ollie, so should Tua.
Tua hell freeze over before I say Tua's going to be the MVP conversation.
Mate.
It's going to be an interesting dichotomy of players this year. It's going to be so many different players from so many different positions. But let me just give my quick take on this game. We knew going in that it was going to be a shootout, and it lived up to the billing 100%. It was a fantastic game for the neutral. You know, I'm a huge Justin Jefferson fan myself anyway, and he balled out like he always does. Devin Singletary ran in with 2 touchdowns. Look at Josh's stats, right? 29 completions for 43 yards. Sorry, for 43 attempts, 330 yards. He was picked off twice, mind.
And
like I said, no spotless.
This is a man with an injured elbow.
Exactly. Like I said, games like this is why we love this sport.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. You know, there is one there. I've just seen that pick right at the end of the game. He was on. It wasn't even a 4th down. He threw that ball on.
No, he didn't.
Throw it away. Throw it away. Have a go again. This, you know, and then there was one of the interceptions he threw as well. He got injured on.
Yeah.
Josh Allen has to learn to go, I'm the franchise quarterback of this team. I've got to stop throwing. I think we said this last week or the week before. He will get himself injured with what he does. The way he plays, he will get himself injured more than anything else.
Just going back to that interception. Ollie, you text me saying
his post-game
happened to Allen, haven't you?
Yeah.
You text me saying what happened to Allen. I was like, he got injured tackling someone.
Yeah, he got smacked on the hip. It was by his own teammate, for crying out loud. Also, CJ Ham with his first NFL touchdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's another player I'd never heard of until going into the last night.
Oh no, CJ has been around for a bit.
Yeah. And Dalvin Cook goes back to the bragging rights over James.
Yeah. I'll just say this now. I got a message from Tom today saying Jefferson better be up for catch of the week.
Well, he better.
Questions are. The only question about that is who's going to pick it, because we're going to argue over him this week, I expect.
Yeah, we were arguing about it we've been arguing about things all week all Sunday night in the chat. Play of the week, catch of the week.
I mean, I was feeling
of the week.
As Jack said, it's CJ Ham's first TD in 5 seasons. I mean, I was
Mad, isn't
feeling before that catch. I was feeling pretty good with my Diggs catch that I'd claimed.
I was feeling fairly good with my MVS toe drag swag. I thought, oh, that's
Yeah.
not a bad catch. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to go for Jefferson, isn't it? But we will put it on there. You know, Shane's got. You still going for Melvin Jones? Will you fill
Yes,
out?
but I'm like I said, I'm a sucker for a diving catch.
Yeah, it is good.
That stays in bounds.
As Kelly said, surprised he's not here, Tom, to gloat.
Oh, I think me and Ollie put him a bit quiet on Facebook earlier on. You know, saying it was the fact that their defense took it. Their defense won that game in the end.
The thing with Tom is he put so much on Facebook about Stockport and the Minnesota. I just wanted to shut him up.
Oh, we had to, didn't we? I think we put him down a peg or two, that one. No, I've seen a meme somewhere around there with a picture of Kirk Cousins throwing the ball saying JJ's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
I love that one. I love that one.
It's just like, F it, JJ will get this.
Yeah. I mean, that is going to be game of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buffalo seem to lose in overtime. They're going to not want overtime soon, are they?
In the off season when
Can you imagine?
NFL Network have nothing to show and they show the top 5 games of the season, that'll be number 1.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll put ours in there. We'll put our top 5 at some point.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at ours.
Back to top 5s in the off season.
Oh, we gotta love a top 5 in the off season. Yeah, I mean, we could talk on about that game for like literally all night. You know, where catches, receptions, runs. Because that's some really good runs. You know, Josh Allen had a couple of really good runs there. Dalvin Cook had an 81-yard touchdown run as well.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You know, this game had literally everything, including what looked like it was going to be a blowout until after halftime.
Yes.
Ollie, can you just thank Noah for me for beating Pico in the fantasy football?
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not checked that one yet. I'll tell him in the morning.
You just need, unless Antonio Gibson scores like 40 points.
Oh, nice. Is that the defending champs?
Defending champs, yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. I will let him know that one. I haven't checked because I got blown out of the water for the 4th week on the road.
Yeah, well, I've lost the bottom of the league. So
What, your dad?
no, my dad was the bottom. It was Levy on a prayer.
Oh, Matt. Couldn't be bottom in my in K Adams League as well for me. Oh dear.
Oh, you bottom of that league?
No, I'm not bottom of that one, but I wish he was.
I was going to say, come on, gents, time's getting on. Do you want to have a little look at the Eagles and Commanders game for tonight?
Yes, I can. Yep. There it is. We'll have a quick.
Eagles blowout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, I hope it's not a blowout. I hope that for my fantasy team, Tyler Heineke balls out for me.
Yeah, well, if I want to beat Matt, I need about a 40-point Taylor Heineke game.
Yeah. I've had to put him into one of my other teams because
Yeah,
Stafford's
same.
injured and my other quarterback's on
Stuff,
bye. It's like, oh crap.
Stuffed and butter.
Yeah, it might be actually.
That's who I have in our fantasy league. Stuffed and butter.
It might be in the others as well. So
Heineke,
definitely go that one. Round the table then, gentlemen. Phil.
What tonight?
Yes, mate.
Oh, I'm going to go with Commanders.
Are you?
No, of course not. Picking Philadelphia.
Do see you then. It's if somebody awakened something.
You had us going then, man.
Oh, I just
Oh
fancy
my
the
God.
Commanders coming into this. They've got such a great team, great spirit. Schneider's finally selling the club. No, I'm going to go Philadelphia. I mean, anyone that says anything differently, man, they shouldn't be watching the sport. They should go back to watching Any Given Sunday because this is Any Given Monday where there'll be no given.
Yeah, I mean, every team has its banana skins. I don't.
Yeah, but this ain't it. just throw that out there.
I don't have Philadelphia having a banana skin tonight.
I'm going to say 28-10 to Eagles.
You'll get. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I
a little
think
bit
Eagles
closer
score
than
30
that.
points.
Yeah, Eagles score 30. Washington scored 20, 24, 30, 24. Mr. Harris?
boys, it's not going to be an hiding, I don't think. You saw that they conceded points against Texans. And we've basically established today on this very podcast that the Texans are the worst team in the league at the moment. So it's not going to be a blowout, or the Eagles will win guaranteed. But it's not going to be a blowout.
Usually when we all pick the same team, they lose.
I'm gonna go Commander.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Oh, imagine that on Thursday. We're going that. Yeah, we're now hanging up our gloves as pundits because we can't get things right. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long one, but there's been some bloody good games and there's been some bloody shocking games this week as well. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for getting involved. That's been Shane. That's been Phil. That's been Ollie. I've also been Ollie. Stay safe all, and we'll see you Thursday at 8:30.